Hello everybody. Have you ever opened up your trunk only for the trunk light to not come on? It's more than likely due to the trunk latch assembly right here. This also controls the on and off switch for your trunk light. On, off, on. You can see that when it's pushed in, very slowly retracts when it should be an instantaneous spring motion all the way back to the retracted position there. So the simple solution is to lubricate the little hinge point right up in here. You can see that there's a plastic component involved right there. And so we're going to use a silicone spray, which is compatible with plastics and nylons. And we're just going to give it a little spray back in there. Now you really don't need much, so we're just going to give it a couple light sprays. And maybe get up in there a little bit more too. Work it back in there. Maybe one more up top. Alright, that should be more than enough. Now we're just going to try and work it in a bit. And there we go. You can see immediately it goes all the way back to that retracted position. It isn't sticking like it used to. Except for when I pushed it too far. And now our trunk light works. If fiddling with the latch doesn't turn on and off the trunk light, then there might be a problem with the fuse. You can simply determine that if your interior lights are working or not. You can see mine are working just fine, but if the interior lights were not working, we would come to the passenger side fuse box here, pull off this cover, and you can see fuse number 11 is the interior light courtesy light fuse. It's a 7.5 amp fuse. We would find fuse number 11 right there, and we would replace that fuse. If you come under the hood on the passenger side fuse box here, you'll see that there's actually a fuse puller located back here to pull out your fuses, as well as there are usually some spare fuses. It's right next to the 30 amp cooling fan fuse. There's the 30 amp, and here we got a spare 7.5, 10, and 15 amp fuse. Just make sure to replace it with some extra fuses. You can get these at any local hardware store or Amazon. I'll post a link for these as well. Next, we're going to make sure we have a working bulb. You can either replace the old bulb with a brand new one, or we can take the existing bulb and hook it up to a 9-volt battery. There we go, this one's working. Keep in mind, if you're using LED bulbs as opposed to halogen bulbs, it is possible to put the bulb in backwards, so make sure that the polarity is correct. These are a size 168 bulb. I'll post some links in the description. Next, we're going to test the housing itself. You can remove it by pushing on the little tabs on each side and then disconnecting the electrical connector. Put the bulb back in, and then you can just take some alligator clips or wires or something, hook it up to a small 9-volt battery, and you can test to make sure that the housing itself works that way. After ensuring that the latch is lubricated and moving freely, as well as that the fuse, the light bulb, and the light housing are all in good working condition, we're going to check and see if the switch itself is working. Easy way to do that is to come in the car, turn the power on, and then we're going to look at the little trunk indicator light and see if that comes on when we open the trunk. So we're going to push our little trunk button right here, and you can see the little red light for the trunk came on. If it does not come on when the trunk is open, that means your switch is bad and that you need to replace the entire trunk latch assembly. So first we got to remove the trunk lining. It's held in by about a dozen clips, just like this one. You can use a clip removal tool like this and you'll just kind of pry it out. There we go. With the lining off, we can then disconnect the hood latch cable. Disconnect the electrical connector right there. And lastly, there's 2 bolts we got to remove. One right there and one right there. And then we can take out the latch and put the new one in. The torque spec for those two bolts are 7 foot-pounds. So to quickly find a replacement latch assembly as well as a light housing, we'll come to any Acura or Honda parts website. We'll find our vehicle, 2002 Acura TL Type S. And first we'll come to body and trunk lid. And here is the entire trunk latch assembly, which is where the on-off switch is also located. Then we'll come back, and if you otherwise need the light housing, we'll come to electrical and interior light. And here is the light housing. So I hope my quick video was helpful to you all today. If it did, be sure to like and subscribe. It certainly helps me out a lot. I'll also be posting a link in the description for all the items used. And now, as always, thanks for watching. Have a great day and take care.